But for me, the main point is what we have to do is we have to learn to separate what is deliberate and what is supposedly coincidental, if you believe in coincidence, because I don't. Because the fact for me is that when you go to the, like for instance, when you go to the British Museum, and why I showed that clip today about Terranulis or Terranula, or whatever they want to call it, you go to the British Museum and they endorse that story about the Middle East being the cradle of civilization.
Yes.
But when I used to take youths there, I used to say to them, okay, here's the Assyrian stuff, 2000 something BC, 3000 something BC, if you're lucky. Then you go to where the ancient Egyptian stuff is, 4000 something BC. So then the youths are said, and then the youths are saying to me, well, how can they say on that plaque that that influenced that and that came before?
There was empires in Africa called Kush, Timbuktu, where every race came to get books. My success to you, even if you wish me the opposite.
Yeah. I once heard a man say, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great.
Brother Tariq Nasheed! Y'all gotta give it up more than that over there. Come on, London. Oh, y'all gotta give it up, London. No! I'm all the way over here in cold-ass London. Y'all better give it up with some messed up traffic. It takes 2 hours to go 3 blocks. Give it up. Give it up. I gotta eat fish and chips all week. Give it up. Man, thank you, family. I'm glad to have everybody here. Have a seat, everybody. I'm glad to have everybody here. This is my first time in London, family. Yeah. I started to listen to Tariq just a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. I'm one of these people where I'll go over, Action Jackson, I got to go and do the thing, right? So this brother kept going on and on about group economics. Group economics. And I'm like, okay, this is something that we need to do, something that I need to take on. How do I take it on? How do I do it, right? How do I make that actually happen in real life? Because I know it's really good. It's really, it's really good speaking about it. It's a lot easier just listening to it. But it actually means something when you do it, right? So that was what I wanted to actually put into practice, this idea of group economics and turn it into a practice. So when we decided that we were going to put on this event, there's 2 ways you usually do it, right? So one, you have one promoter who would then tell everyone, come to this event, and then the promoter takes all the money, right? That's normal, right? Or the other way is that you tell your community to tell their friends, and they get paid off of it, and their friends get a discount, and that way, as a community, we all rise. There is no point in one person rising up, because when you have one person rise up, you now become isolated. And you become really easy to pick off. We can see you, that they can see you and take you out. So the only way you can do it with any kind of success is that we rise up as a group. Something I want you to think about, okay? Imagine if we were to take this idea of group economics and every one of us went home and promised that we were going to save £50 a month in our own account. And then 365 days time, I invite you all back here to actually create a business for our community. We put our money together and do it. What could we create if we actually start working together? This is something that I want to do. This is my next plan. So I'll be sending you all an email, a text message to see who's in. And those of you who are in, we are actually going to start building something here in the UK. Not for us, but for our children and for our children's children. You got me? All right.
Tonight I'm going to give us some things to think about, yeah? And the only rules are, I want you to be open and honest. Yes? Yes. We're going to have an open and honest discussion tonight. So here's the first one. What's this about? Come on, we said we're going to be open and honest. What's that about? What is it? What is it? Right now, okay, some people say foolishness, but should make a whole of my money. Now, show of hands, who has got the books in that series? Show of hands. And don't lie, because I know some of you have. Yeah, good, we've got a couple of honest people. How many of you paid money to see the film? I don't believe you, lot. And a lucky count the black and you can't blush, because if you could blush, we would have known I lie out there. 50 Shades of Grey, yeah? Listen, trust me, I'd love to write a pot boiler book like that. I'd do this talk from my yacht, park off somewhere outside Wachi by Saturday, and I'd pay for it. And I'd pay for all of you to come in here. So there we are, 50 Shades of Grey. Now I wrote a book, one of my books, is called Whiteness Made Simple. You know what it's called? Notice, stepping into the grey zone. I understand that. I know why they did that book. I know why she did it, because there's this kind of, it's almost like an infantile fascination with sex in the West. Whereas if you look historically, most people didn't really, you know, they just know it got. You understand what I'm saying? Which is why they'll show you images of women like, whatever her name is, the William White, skirt blow up your stuff. It's all over the front page of the papers. We understand that. In my book, I said, whiteness is the ever-present non-presence that molds and shapes reality. And the other day I did a talk on Brother Twilight Bay's show on Urban Jazz. You should try and check out that station and check out Brother Twilight Bay. And in it I was explaining this. But it's kind of hard to explain it in words. So I'm going to take you through a journey about what I think that means. On a ready? You lot look a bit scared of me today. Don't be afraid of me. That's Uncle Les. So here, I therefore want us to use this Mother's Day gathering to give birth to a new way of thinking about our reality. I'm talking about us as peoples of African ancestry. That's what I'm talking about today. Yes? Because I can state unequivocally, if there are 50 shades of grey, there is only, you like that, innit? And you know why that is, don't you? Because I would tell you, it doesn't matter what so-called shade of black you think you are. All that red, brown, piss color yellow, high color yellow, that only works amongst us. For white people, that don't work. They see one shade. I'll give an example. Years ago, when I used to do plumbing and heating, I went to this really posh house somewhere out in Kent. You know, lovely old white lady opened the door. She must have been about 80. And she was a bit shocked when she saw me, so I showed her my pass to say, yeah, I work for this plumbing firm, whatever. And I said to her, where's the boiler, love? I went to change the boiler. She said, into the kitchen, dear. I went into the kitchen. She came out of the kitchen. I heard her on the phone. Ooh, he's here. Black as the ace of spades he is. So what happens? She said, some of my family from Jamaica, then she dead. Because there's one shade for many people in their consciousness, and we need to have a discussion about that. A sister of mine should be here. We had a conversation yesterday, very harrowing conversation. Now this guy here is a guy called Wilfred Owen, who studied what I'm calling English literature. You studied English literature at school. You heard of Wilfred Owen. Get him rammed down your throats all the time, how great he was, yeah? Okay. He wrote a poem called Anthem for Doomed Youth, about the First World War. Our task at school was to write a poem. Yeah? So I wrote a poem. They accused me at 15 years old of plagiarism. That's when I learned what that word meant. 15 years old. Now don't laugh, because there's a sister who's probably in here somewhere, phoned me yesterday really distressed, because she said she's working with a young man who is dyslexic And I think she's supposed to give him an hour's tuition. Yeah, and this is a so-called mixed race youth, and most of you know I don't really deal with this. If you've got a black pygmy, and this society is a black pygmy, yeah, you can call it whatever mix you want. Ask the BNP what he is. Ask them. The best way to qualify what you are racially, go and ask a racist. They'll tell you if you're half anything, half idiot more like. So anyway, they accused me of plagiarism, and this sister told me yesterday that this young man who she's working with has improved so much that when he submitted his essay, and you have to submit all these disclaimers as well to say you've got private tuition, they accused him of plagiarism. 2015. Now why is it that they don't believe that certain youths have got the potential, but they can laud and celebrate bloody Wilfred Owen, who was 24 when he was writing that stuff. He wasn't 16. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are the things we need to think about. So anyway, told my father, went home and I said to my dad, I said, you know, daddy, them said the teeth, the something and rare. My father, he knew that me and my twin brother were pretty wild. And I know Elder Hirakuti, he kind of unwilded us, if that's a word, yeah, with some good Rastafari preaching. Because me and my twin brother was like, you know when them say unleash hell and gladiators, that was me and my twin brother, yeah. But the thing what my father knew about us was we were intelligent, we weren't afraid to be intelligent, we had a voracious appetite for literature, and we used to fight and quarrel about everything in our house. So he knew that if I said I wrote it, I wrote it. He went down to school, cost one bag of BC, RC, not Roman Catholic and before Christ. And basically let them know that this is my work. So what did they do? They gave me a book token. Yeah? Like some token gesture to repair my totally messed up and damaged self-esteem. And because I had some affinity with a fat white boy called William who used to eat donuts or some crap, I used the book token to buy the book because it's the same name. You know, when you're kids you can't make logic out of much stuff. And after that, my English teacher, I went to school, got expelled from school at 15. The Ubuntu youths know this, so they're not going to be scared. Yeah. Went to college, got expelled. I won't tell you what for. Come to my next talk, I'll tell you. But it wasn't for being too clever. When I was expelled from college, my English teacher said to me, Henry, you're too thick to do a thinking man's job, so you better go down the pig-free biscuit factory, which used to be somewhere near London Bridge, or your local building site. So what I did was I was working, I saved up my money, went to the library, studied independently, went to the English board or whoever it is, you know, do the GCSEs, and I paid for it. We're talking when I was 16 years old, that was about 1872, something like that. And I paid for it, and I passed it, and I went to that guy, I went into the college, it was at Downham Way, Lewisham College, and I went in there, and I said to him, yeah, sir, look, what do you think his reaction was? What do you think his reaction was? Do you know what he did? He went like this. And I can tell you from that day, I said, everything I do for me. I'm not doing it to impress nobody, which is why anybody who knows me, I don't compete with a damn soul. I create and I do what I believe I need to do, because I believe my ancestors chose me as a vessel for African liberation, which is why I do what I do. Sometimes I don't want to, some days I don't even want to be black. People frighten when they hear that. I'm not saying I want to be white, but I just feel like, you know, right, I'm out there again today. But at the end of the day is what we do, we need to do for ourselves, and I'm going to show you why. White supremacy has its own system of logic that is in essence totally illogical. We therefore need to have the right conversations. I'm going to just give you some examples. Una ready? Una good? Yeah. Good. Tell me what you make of this. Now listen very carefully, because I tested this out on a few people and they was winding me up, man. I like people who understand. Una can understand instructions. Good. Right. I want you to shout out the number of the month that these events take in place. Not the name, but the number. So the first one, Black History Month, what number? Who's saying 410? What the hell is 410? 10. It's 10, yes? Guy Fawkes man, what number? 11. And December? 12. 10, 11 and 12. Okay, October. Octizama. How many legs has an octopus got? 8. So why is October the 10th month? And Nov is 9. Why is it the 11th month? And Des as a DEC is 10. Every day we accept that. But it don't make no sense. I'll tell you what, if you think it makes sense, yeah? I will lend you £8 and you give me back 10. Yeah?
Greetings family, we are here at Tariq Nasheed's big event in London, totally packed. You have Dua Mutef and my brother here, the Minister. How you doing, Minister?
So Minister, it's good to be in the building. We are at the Tariq event, Hidden Colours promotion. We're going to run around, we're going to start talking to people. We ain't going to waste time, we're going to break right now. People are feeling fueled, they're feeling charged. We're going to go around and start talking to people. There's a young man waiting to come past us. You want to pass us? Before you do, you're going to talk to me for a minute. Come up here, young man. Okay, quick thing, bro. How old are you? You're looking like a younger man than me.
I'm 18.
You're 18? Yeah. Okay, what inspired you to come down to this event here right now?
Just wanted to understand my history and where we came from and what we can accomplish really.
Okay, and have you heard of Tariq? Have you heard of Tariq before?
Nah, my dad has.
Your dad has? Okay, your dad's an older man than me though, isn't it? Yeah. This is wisdom, don't get it twisted. But you enjoyed the event, you've learned something.
Yeah.
Okay, have you got any questions for the second part? Or are you just taking it in?
Just taking it in for now. Well, I've recorded it, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to it again.
Okay.
And any questions I'm probably going to ask my dad.
Okay, but you know about group economics, so there won't be no bootlegging going on, innit? You're saying that on camera, you're only bootlegging, we're going to come and see this young brother in it, and you just admitted to recording it here. No, but you're going to learn from that, aren't you? Alright, big man, let's move on. Thank you very much for your time. I'm glad you enjoyed the event. Now, you're going to see me do this, yeah? Because as an elder, I must bow and say namaste to the elder, Attendant Mari, okay? Brother leader, you've been down there, yeah? The energy, I'm over there, I'm hearing people talking, and all I can hear is boom, coming from your corner. I'm feeling the energy from over there, but what does this mean for black people? This what's going on here?
It's a very important gathering. It's the people coming together. The people coming together to hear from a brother who has a message of empowerment, a message of liberation, a message of African pride, African dignity. As we know, our brother Tariq is a historian amongst other things, and he's done that tremendous trilogy, you know, and many people here have seen it, and it has inspired so many of our people to realize the value of history. In our tradition, in the West African tradition of the Akan people, we talk about Sankofa, go back and fetch it. That means before we go forward, we have to look back and to assess where we're coming from. Assess all our experiences that got us to where we are, look at the successes so that we can build on it, and look at the challenges so that we can redirect the energies. We can learn from the errors, the mistakes, and then move forward stronger, wiser, more empowered. So this is what today means for us as a people. I hope and pray that we won't only take away the euphoria of the day, as we do sometimes, but the essential message of the need for us to collectivize, to organize, to centralize, to strategize as a nation of people that have tremendous challenges in the society and the world in which we live. But guess what? The most important thing about our brother's message is that there is hope. He talks in terms of hope, he talks in terms of solution. He makes it clear that the answer, the solution is in our minds, it's in our hands, and it's in our ability to unite as one people. So that to me is what this evening is about.
Well, we need to make this symbol that I wear, he's wearing, we need to get this symbol all out there and get symbolism which people recognize as one, so we know when we see each other, we know where that head is.
You're talking about the symbol of the arm.
Yeah, that's right.
The symbol of life.
That's right, because our ancestors recognized the use of symbolism. We use symbolism in everything. So if we could, and where we've been picking up these European symbols and carrying things that don't belong to us, it's now to pick up symbols which make people know that you're on the same page, you're on the same page, you're on the same page, and then we just work out how do we take that same page and turn it together. But brother leader, I have to move on. I'm going to try and roll on and get some of these ready. But we're going to talk to you before we leave the end of the show. It's a pleasure to see you again. There's not one conscious event where you won't find this man. When I say about building, this man ain't joking, and him having crew with him, and I'm saying the crew is large. Let me tell you, Birmingham, Nottingham, no matter where you go, you will find this massive here. And it's not this massive is part of one massive, our people. That's what we're doing, that's how we're moving on.
Just one sentence, my brother, one sentence. Join the International African People's Parliament, sign up to INAP, just log on to inapp.org.uk. Tendai Mwari. Be thankful unto God. Thank you very much, my brother. Word, sound, and power.
Just to show you the kind of energy that's in the place, I had this man on standby. We got him on speed dial. All right, I want to say the Mastu greetings to my brother.
Yes.
Swiss in the place. Big up, big up, big up.
Yes, bless up everyone.
We've got gotKush TV again, yeah.
Yeah, man. Once again. Yeah, the event's nice, man, you know. A nice turnout. The content's good. Brother Les went on first. Tariq Nasheed. I thought his presentation was going to be more formal though.
I hear you.
It's more free flowing.
Yeah.
I had my notebook, and so I thought it was going to be more formal. But it's all good though, you know. He's presenting himself well, and yeah, just going across a lot of the themes that he spoke about in the DVD, Hidden Colours, so it's all good,
How do you think this car can transmit to the next generation? Because it's good to see that there's a lot of people here from like 18 to 30 years of age. How do you think they're going to grasp the message that Tariq and...
Well, this is one of the ways. We've got gotKush TV, man, using our media sources and, you know, just trying to... Hopefully them seeing my face getting interviewed now interest them to, you know, come down to these type of events, and, you know, through Akala and a lot of the other artists that we're possibly associated with, the songs that we're doing such as Nigger, it sparks the minds to want to move towards, you know, the information that these events hold. So just through what we're doing already, more people doing it, and, you know, hopefully it catches on.
Appreciate you taking out your time. Eloquent as always, my brother.
They're making money right now. Yeah, group economics, don't forget, we're talking about group economics, so we're not going to stop someone making their money. We're going to definitely come and catch them shortly over the fire. Okay, let's see if we can get this big man here. Yes, big man.
Yes, King.
Mr. Lister.
Yes, King.
Yes, Facebook is a wonderful thing, innit? You never shake a man's hand yet, but you know the man already. Okay. This is Buy Black. Okay. This is GKTV, and we're going to quickly speak to you. We don't want to stop you sending your money right now, so we're not going to get too much in your way. But just quickly, Buy Black, your business, tell people about.
Well, I've got two businesses. I've got My Black Market, which is basically supporting black-owned businesses and their customers to build a black UK economy. So basically, anyone that's got a black-owned business, go to www.myblackmarket and you can submit your business there, and we'll feature and promote you. I've also got My Black Clothing. You can see basically it's a fashion and lifestyle brand, basically redefining black. So basically it's a clothing brand that's helping to reinstill the image of black and make it aspirational.
Have you got any t-shirts here available here today?
I don't, I'm just helping out today, but if you go to www.buyblackclothing.uk, that's www.buyblackclothing.uk, you get the male and female short sleeve and long sleeve.
Okay. We didn't want to stop the group economics and the money that was being made over here, so we had to wait for when it starts to quiet. We don't seem to quiet over here. So
you can't just have me, you got to have my woman as well, you know, blood.
No, that's what I'm saying. Look, this is how we are. This is how we are. See, that's how we're moving. We're dealing with families. When we're talking about black economics, we're talking about black families. This is something we have to really start taking care of in this community and getting those black families together. So when a man comes, he's saying, I need to draw off my woman. Overstand. Please, overstand that. Okay. Master Rise.
What's going on?
It's a pleasure to have you. We've missed you so much time, but now GKTV's got a big man. This is the CEO of All Nights. This man don't roll as an individual, draw for his wife, but this is his complete family. Okay?
This ain't even all of them.
I know. I met your young brother, Jordan, nephew or something like that. So I know the family's large and getting larger as you grow. But how is the growth going?
It's going good, man. Going well good. Like more people are coming up to us even today. We had a guy that does like 3D animation. organisation, he wants to work with us. And obviously you saw what I was talking to Tariq about with the business and the advertising. So it's growing. Like, you know, even today we was at another event. We was at a comic convention, then we come here straight after. So going good.
You're on your grind.
Yeah, man.
On your grind.
I don't work for the white supremacists no more. So
no, I hear that.
So I have to be on the grind. You know what I mean?
And that's the freedom. We had a conversation, albeit by Facebook one time. And in meeting the man, I get the man now, innit? I understand. With the comics that you're doing, what is the inspiration behind the characters?
Where the characters, the inspiration was based on just what I wanted to see in my people. So when I'm dead and gone, my children and my grandchildren, great grandchildren, they got something to look up to. You know, like a proper character. You don't dead in the first 10 minutes. Like he's the boss or she's the boss. Like dispelling all the stereotypes and everything. Like the one good thing about what All Nights does is no white company can imitate us. They'll try to, but then the wickedest thing is the creator ain't like us. You know what I mean? The creator that made this, he looks like your children, and whatever, you get me? So that's a good thing about it.
So where do you see All Nights in maybe say the next 5 years? I know this is snowballing. Are we going to be looking like, you said you spoke to someone at animation, are we going to be looking like cartoons, going to be going the whole home?
Yeah. Well, in 5 years I would say we're going to be doing our own cartoons and comics, but we're going to be helping other black people do the cartoons and comics as well. You know what I mean? Start doing business with like the youngsters, so that the minute they finish school, they don't even have to go uni. They just start doing business straight away. And not even like working for me, I'll show them how to be their own boss as well. And then we'll just be competitive. And then at that stage, no one don't even have to call me leader because we're all doing it. Like enough of us. You know, I've got my girlfriend here as well, my wife or whatever, you know. I know that's a better term to use. The wife. Because now she's just gonna say, we're not married yet. So that's why I said. But anyway, you know, I've got my wife, so that's an example of what I'm talking about, to show them that's how it works, you know what I mean? So
as the wife, you're just as important in keeping. No, because when they talk about Marcus Garvey, they forget about Amy. When they talk about Malcolm, they forget about Betty. You get me? When we roll, we've been rolling a race, we've been running a race, we've been running it with one leg. We've been hopping along. But really, you know, we've got a book, what we've got coming out called Rise of the Divine Feminine, and it's a deal with putting the female back in place, yeah? As a female in this industry, you know, because you're not watching from the sidelines, you're in this. What inspiration are you trying to do to other young people? Because I don't see just males up in this, I'm seeing females up in this in abundance. How is your inspiration?
I guess, you know, the fact that having a team helps, because you can't do this without having a team. That's round one, that's a must. And I mean, like you said, me being a female in this industry, it kind of opens your eyes to what you can really do. And you know, I've got my comic coming out in May, but I didn't think I could ever do that before. But I guess with the help of my behalf and my team, it all comes together, and that's what inspires me. And I do get young girls saying, you know, you inspire me, and it feels a bit weird hearing that sometimes, but that's what I'm trying to do. It's trying for me to show you what black women look like, you know, black superheroes. I can bring all that, so it's yeah.
No, I'm feeling scared. I mean, before this all sold out now, I've got to spend my dough. You know what I mean? I missed that. You know when you get to the end of a comic and you need to get another piece. You know?
No, don't worry.
That's how I watch my TV program. I get my box sets. But like, I know this is like rolling. I can see the growth in it. I like the way that it's presented. I like the professionalism. You know, and this is something where black people in the past we've always done things very niggerish, and I mean that in that sense, where like half standard, there's no professionalism, even the attitude, the way that we talk and everything. And I know in speaking to yourself, and I know that there's a new mindset, there's a new level where we've been living along this beast. We're gonna take the best of the beast and apply it to ourselves, because you got it from us in the first place.
Exactly.
You get me? So you know, I'm saying all the best All Nights. I know you're 100% behind what GKTV are doing. We got another thing where I'm gonna come and speak to you. Got people, something I had on the back burner for a few years. HMP has to work with the youth. I had a DVD program going on where I put it on the back burner. I had to make sure I get my stuff together. But now I'm inspired by the way you guys are doing things. So everyone said to me, you're gonna lift that back up. I'm lifting it back up again. So we're gonna come and talk and link. Because my thing is, we need our own institutions and academic institutions. But we can't wait for some other people to come and stamp them. We got to stamp them. And then use them to go and stamp others, so we've got our trademarks and that stuff going on in the game. But it's just make believe. To wrap this up, what are your last words to the youth who are going to be watching this? What would you say in regards to this applies, you know, adults are into this, but this is something for our youth. I can buy comics.
Message to the youth, yeah. My message to the youth is this. As far as your life is concerned, it's all about economic competition with everyone else, other than your own people. When it comes to your people, work with them. But anyone else, they're food. Straight, they're food. That's how the Jewish boys play it. We got to play it. And the wickedest thing is, yeah, we're going to win because we got the melanin content and we got the most talent. Black man and woman's the most talented people on the planet. The most. Undisputed. If we weren't talented, they wouldn't buy us out before from early.
That's right.
All the basketball players are owned. Right. So own yourself and work with each other. That's it.
And learn to work together. That's a must. None of this separation. Work together. That's
it. Listen, that was all nice. And you know what? There's something very, very important I have to run with you. I do Black History. I've been doing it for years. I mean, we go in. Like, so we go in. And the stuff, what you find in our history, is the stuff of comics. You get me? The stuff what you find, what they put in all their films, they stole from us when you dig deep enough. Yep. And I like to run those ideas with you because there's some characters, there's some stories in there.
We was always going to talk to you about that.
That's what we're going to do.
You're going to be one of our writers. So that job was already. That was there for you.
Yeah, and I know when this man says something, he don't ramp. Yeah, he's a man where if you got to watch your words with him. This man understands wordplay. If you say the wrong words, the man's gunning for you. Me learn that. But I'm a bit of a veteran in these games. So, but listen, we are family. Big man. I'm loving everything you're doing. We're loving everything you're doing. GKTV is loving everything you're doing. And you know what? I'm loving to see families.
Yeah,
I know, seriously.
He does that now. He does that now.
No. I know. Listen, his Facebook, he just got no single pictures.
No, it's not.
The man don't ramp. You hear me? That's how we do this.